Hello. Not too long ago, a crime of fraud was reported to the police. Right after starting this stone-cold engine, the temperature gauge jumped to show operating temperature. Inspector Nati was assigned to the case, and he was determined to find the guilty party and bring it to justice. Investigation started with analysis of the wiring diagram. The inspector discovered that the temperature gauge was connected to the power supply and to this temperature sensor. Two suspects. The sensor was located in the engine head. He also learned that there was another temperature sensor not connected to the first one or to the gauge. This one was reporting straight to the onboard computer. There was also a third sensor located in the radiator. This one was keeping cool by switching on and off the electric fan in the back of the radiator. Inspector Nati found the sensor connected to the temperature gauge, disconnected it from the circuit, and carried out several tests to determine the guilty one. First, he took a piece of cable with a matching connector and plugged it into the sensor. Then he measured resistance at the end of the cable. With the cold engine, it was 2.9 kilo-ohm. Then he compared the resistance of two spare sensors, which came to be 2.7 kilo-ohm each, in a warm garage. After starting and warming up the engine, the resistance was gradually dropping. It looked like the sensor was telling the truth. After all, everybody would lose resistance when put into hot water. In the next step, Nati used another cable with male connectors and plugged it into the gauge circuit. Then he brought the cable into the cabin, paying attention to bare parts not touching any metal or each other. At the end, he connected a potentiometer, 22 kilo-ohm. Too big for this job, but he didn't have the right one. The right should be about 10 kilo-ohms. After starting the engine, the gauge showed the inspector the finger up. Hard to tell which finger it was. Changing resistance of the pot didn't bring any response from the gauge. Then Nati took another gauge and tested it. 4 points connecting the gauge to the instrument cluster. Two points to the right is power supply. 2 points to the left connect the sensor. Power on. And this time the finger was up. But after turning the knob, which was changing resistance, the arrow came to life. Low resistance, the arrow further to the right. High resistance, the arrow turned to the left. It was an aha moment for the inspector. This fraudulent gauge was removed on the spot, and another working gauge was assigned using a sophisticated and rigorous selection process as a replacement. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. One more time. Ika baka, ika baka, ika baka, boo. Ika baka, soda kraka, out goes you. Let's take this one. The replacement gauge was reacting to the pot. everything connected. The engine called. When the inspector started the engine, the gauge showed minimum and gradually climbed. It settled at 12 o'clock. The faulty gauge was accused of breaking the law on several counts, but pleaded not guilty. The defense asked the court for leniency when imposing the sentence, to take into account the defendant's age. He also pointed out that there was too much of a fuss about nothing, because resoldering connections could solve the problem. The gauge was found guilty, but the irony is that it actually gained its freedom. After all, it already served 30 years behind bars. Yes, this Volvo is 30 years old. If you are interested how to remove gauges in this Volvo, see my other video where I repair the speedometer. Till next time.